speak about why Singular. But to do this, I must share with you how I became acquainted and now have become an affiliate with this treasure. What is true treasure? What is true treasure in life? Is it wealth? Is it success? Or is it something much, much deeper? Well, allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm Tabitha, and I'm driven, and I've always lived according to failure is not an option. I have sought success and I've set goals and I would meet them. But then to maintain the high, I had to always set and meet another goal. But the end of 2021 changed my perspective. I was diagnosed with breast cancer and I was told my only choice was a mastectomy. But hold on, God, I'm 40, single with no children. Could you imagine what I was feeling? But in true type A personality, I said, let's do this. I'm a believer. I believe in a higher power. I believe in God, and I believe that He put you here for a purpose. And although life hasn't been easy, I just assumed it was my time to be tested. But little did I know that this burden, this trial, this thorn in my flesh would change the trajectory of my life, what I value, and how I pursue treasures. Well, my surgeon recommended me to a plastic surgeon so that we could begin reconstruction immediately following the double mastectomy. The plastic surgeon, let's call him Dr. Gabriel to protect him. Well, he told me, myself and Dr. Turk, that my case was too risky and due to my weight, that at that time was 306 pounds.
Wow.
Dr. Turk had to persuade him. Can you imagine having to persuade a doctor to do something that you absolutely needed done? But Dr. Gabriel agreed to meet me after a lot of prompting. And he saw me and he says, well, let's meet today. Dr. Gabriel said, you are not as round, which he meant I'm not as fat, as he expected. However, he told me, he said, your weight and BMI puts you at an increased risk of complications, which means I could possibly die or stop breathing or any of those things. But how many know that he doesn't have to say, God does? So with disregard for the terror in my eyes and the tears falling down my face, he looked at me and he said, I'm willing to take your case as a favor to my colleague. A favor to my colleague. Not a favor to save my life, but as a favor to my colleague. He said, but I would like you to put forth some type of effort, and can you at least try to drop 5 or 10 pounds in the next month? Because he scheduled my surgery for 1 month from the day that I was standing in his office. And he said, that's going to take some discipline and commitment to the process. Are you willing to embark upon this journey? He said, this will not be easy, but it is harder for those that are not in their healthiest state. Well, let's stop right there. I'm not in my healthiest state. And remember I said I called him Dr. Gabriel? Well, sometimes God will use a messenger, and even if it's bad news, it's to get you to your purpose. So, thank you, Dr. Gabriel. So, let me tell you, let's tune in, shall we? We continued, and I had to be reacquainted with Singular. So, I had tried Singular before, and I had got some results. But this time, I needed a miracle. And I didn't have time to wait or for one to seek me out. I had to pursue it this time. So I reached out to my original sponsor, and she was no longer there. There was crickets. So in my distress, I remember a couple years ago when I had tried it, that there was a group chat that was formed, and she included her upline. And so I searched frantically for this chat, and I found the number that she'd given me. And I found the chat and the number to the treasure's treasure. It'll make soon enough. A voice, when I called, a voice that God himself knew I needed to hear answered the phone. It was sweet and real Southern. But in my distress, I explained the bad, the ugly, and the hopelessness that I was now feeling. And this person listened. And her response was not about the product. No, it was not. Her first words to me, even though she sells Zingular or promotes Zingular, was, "Can I pray with you?" Those words were like water to a nomad in the desert. And after the prayer, she reminded me that I knew the treasure of the products. And guess what? They work. But the shovel now was having to be in my hands, and I still had to go to work. And y'all know who that voice was? None other than Melissa Womack Adams. I ordered the products immediately, and in the first 8 days, I lost 12 pounds. And by the time I went back in 3.5 weeks, I was 22 pounds down. Not bragging or anything, but I kind of walked into Dr. Gabriel's office. And do you know what he said to me? Even though I loathed him, are you okay? Have you been sick? No, I serve a mighty God and I take amazing products. So I asked him, do I look sick? And his response was, no, you look amazing. And of course I do when I told him about Zingular. So in that year though, I had 4 surgeries and all went over without any complications. So let's fast forward to 2024. I reached out to my new sponsor, Melissa Womack Adams, who is now not only my sponsor, but a mentor and a really good friend. And she connected me on a deeper level of becoming a partner. And I'm forever grateful. This didn't take a lot of thought, nor did I have to be coerced, because at this time, this moment, this season, I had found my tribe, my family in business and faith, and I was ready to build not only a business, but to grow the kingdom of God. Because Zingular is not a job, it's not what I do, it is a ministry, and for that I'm grateful. So with that mindset, but not know where to start, I begin my daily calls and messenger. I probably bug Melissa and she rolls her eyes, but she answers every time. But I made both quick start bonuses and I made X5 in October, the first month it was ever released. Because remember that type A personality I told you about? So I intentionally fit working Zingular into the gaps of my day. And by the end of the year, I was averaging $85 per hour, working an average of 30 to 45 minutes. So, they were intentional minutes though. I wasn't sitting around, they were intentional. But what I do want to say is if you're all still asking why Zingular after hearing my story, my counter would be, why not Zingular? It's Zingular because X really does mark the spot for treasures galore. Let's talk about the treasures. First, there's the people. Melissa Adams was the life-saving water I spoke about in my story. She met my emotional needs before she met my physical ones. She filled the gap. If you would not fill the gap, if managers, leaders, executives, if you don't fill the gap when someone leaves your team, you could be missing the helping someone that needs you more than ever. Fill the gap. If she had not, I would have been lost. I could have fallen through the cracks. But because of her commitment to the mission of this company and to Christ, I did not slip through the cracks. She filled the gaps of her team, and I did not slip. And then there's the business treasure. Singular is not just a company, but an opportunity to connect with leaders and veterans in the direct sales industry and glean so that you and I, whether experienced or novice, can achieve our own level of success. What that looks like, it depends on you. What greater treasure can you have access to? A place where limits are not a part of our vocabulary. So let's uncover the treasure in you. One of the greatest gifts Singular offers is the opportunity for self-discovery. Who am I? Who are you? What gifts and treasures do I bring to the world, and how will that help me fulfill my purpose? According to Proverbs 18:16, he says, your gift will make room for you and bring you before great kings. Stretch out, it's making room. By being a part of this business, you will realize that you are not just a person following a script. You are a unique treasure capable of achieving greatness, and Singular provides the tools and support to help us unlock that potential. So in closing, Singular is a treasure in the business world, a treasure in the people I've met and continue to meet, and a treasure in helping me discover the treasure inside of me. Now, look around at the various vessels each of you are sitting beside, each of us in different packages, but all uniquely created in power, in purpose, on purpose. So to answer the question, why Singular? Because when you join Singular, you're not just building a business, you're unlocking a treasure trove of possibilities within yourself and others. Why Singular? Because there's no place like home.